Hey guys, it's later on in the evening, so Micah's at work right now. I'm trying not to put water on the camera. So I thought I would take you guys around and as I water the plants and show you what me and Micah did this morning. So Micah was off this morning, but he had to do the night milking, and we decided to get a bunch of plants planted instead of chopping down the rest of that tree. And I didn't have the camera plugged in, so we weren't able to film it. So that's why I'm bringing you guys along now. So I wanted to show you, I'm going to flip you around. I planted 2 rhubarb. So the one that I showed you up by the raised bed garden that's up there by the house, I dug that up and put it here. I don't know if you guys can see. There's like a little leaf sprouting out of it. Now, I don't know if that's actually a rhubarb plant because we bought a rhubarb plant and planted it last year in our garden that we had back here last year, and it didn't really do very well back there. I went and hunted it down and found it, and it was growing back, and after comparing the two, I'm not quite sure. So this is the rhubarb plant I planted last year, but it was in a different location, so I just scooped it up and moved it over here behind the garage. So now we're gonna go up front. The plants that are up here by the house in this box, don't mind my coffee cup, these ugly looking things, I don't remember what they are. There's some type of, is it a vine? Is that what you call it? It's not like a vine, it just like falls over and it takes over everything. Like you see it like trails. And I'm all winded from moving that hose. I originally had planned on letting them drape over top of this brick, but they just didn't flower very well last year right here in this location. It doesn't get a lot of sun, and I didn't really like how they looked. So we're gonna pull them out and move them, and I'm gonna show you because we moved 2 already. So Micah did this morning. He cleared all this out, and then he cleared all of this out minus our blueberry bushes. So we've got 2 blueberry bushes here that we planted last year. It's good to see on this lens, and everything like blends in with, everything blends in with the leaves right now because nothing's green. The rest of this row, I'm gonna put peas so that they can grow up on the trellis, and I think they'll do really good right here. We had a bean bush here last year that didn't do too bad, but we kind of neglected it. So anyway, so Micah dug out those plants that I showed you up here. There's 2 of them in here that I asked him to keep because they were growing back. I'm actually really surprised they're growing back. I didn't think they were supposed to be perennials, but I guess they are. So anyway, let me show you where those are because we're gonna go water them. I don't think Micah watered them after he put them in there, and I kind of forgot about it because I got to move in a bunch of stuff that I'll show you guys. Right here. So these are the bushes that Micah saved, and this right here is a gorgeous rhododendron tree. I'm pretty sure that's how you say it, rhododendron. gorgeous, gorgeous pink tree. It'll get really big and take over this whole yard. And then over here, all these little flowers in the grass were already here when we moved in. I don't know what these are. It's like really pretty grass. And then there's these flowers. I think these might be similar to these. They look like they have similar leaves. And then it looks like there's a couple tulips. This looks like a tulip to me. I don't know if it flowered last year. And then same with these. I don't know. This kind of looks like onions. We accidentally, there's kind of a couple over here. We accidentally mowed over it last year. And then when I noticed it, when I was mowing the front, I think that's what happened. I was like, oh, there's flowers. And so we decided not to mow around them and just leave them. But I think we accidentally mowed over the tulip, and I think that's why it didn't flower. So I'm going to water these a little bit. I think I'm going to move them up to the rhododendron tree right behind me where those other flowers are. And I think my plan is to just kind of make a really pretty landscape in the front of the yard with bricks or something. I don't know. I'll have to figure out some way that we can block off the grass so that we don't mow around, like don't mow over it, and that we don't have to have random grass growing up on the side of it. If you understand what I'm saying. Next thing is the front. So we briefly showed you the front in our first video, and if you go back and watch,
here's the front of the house. We have a big old oak tree here.
You'll see that there's all these like dead plants just like draped over. These are, gosh, I wish I would have looked it up. I'll have to put in below what it is. They're really, really, really pretty. The problem with them being right by the house is that they do attract ants, because what I found out, I went to a nursery where I bought my rhubarb, and they had these same flowers there, and I asked the lady what I can do about the ants that it attracts, and she said you don't want to do anything about the ants because they actually help the flowers open. So that's all fine and dandy, but with them being so close to the house, we started getting ants in the house. And so I pulled these out. There was one here and one here. We didn't plant anything in this, and then in this one we planted zinnias. I just dropped a bunch of seeds in there, so we'll see how those do. So I'm going to water those real fast. And I'll show you where we moved those to. At first, I really wasn't sure where I wanted them. I kind of thought maybe behind the garage, but I'm actually really happy with where we put them, and I'm happy that I put the rhubarb behind the garage. So I think that'll be a good location for it. Nothing goes behind the garage other than wood, I guess. So here we are by the woodshed in front of the house, and we planted them on each side of it. So I wish I would have filmed tearing them out. They were ginormous, you guys. The roots, I dug a hole first, and just one hole. And then after I dug the plant up, I realized I needed a way bigger hole, because I'll show you. Look at this. So it starts here and goes all the way down to here. That's how big the root system was. And the other side is even bigger. And same thing, I planted one hole, or I dug one hole and then dug up the plant and realized we need a bigger hole. So this one starts right here and goes all the way down to right here. And you can kind of see it starting to poke its head up right there. Alright, and the last place I planted some of our plants in our raised garden bed. Here's my raised bed garden. I planted the tomatoes in this box here, and we have 3 different kinds of tomatoes, so I'm hoping that that's okay, that I can plant 3 different kinds of tomatoes next to each other. So there's Roma tomatoes, delicious tomatoes, and sweetie tomatoes. And I did them all in this box. Whew. Getting my feet wet. And then at the end of this one, I didn't fill this box up yet because I didn't have enough stuff to put in here. You see these are pepper plants. There's jalapenos and then a hot salsa blend packet that I planted of just a bunch of different hot peppers. And then there is one habanero plant in there. I'm hoping that it does good because I love me some hot salsa. Alright guys, well that's pretty much all we got done so far. I don't know if you guys can tell, it is way greener since the last video. It's rained, not a lot, but it rained the other day, or other night. We got a crazy thunderstorm that rolled through in the middle of the night. But anyway, that's all I have for you guys today. Stay tuned for all the other videos I've got planned. There's a bunch coming. I really want to do a bunch of like cooking videos. You guys, I don't know if you guys know, Micah milks cows, and we get free milk, raw milk, and so I wanted to do some dairy videos on making butter and yogurt and sour cream. I have some sour cream already on my counter that it's ready to go, and show you how all that works and take you on that journey. So like I said, stay tuned. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
What are you doing right now?
No, I know, but these are just our blooper reels.
Oh.